Pickaxe.
We gather here tonight to bring women back to their rightful place.
The Testaments, a new Hulu original series from the executive producers of The Handmaid's Tale.
It's easier to accept a story than believe that the people around you are monsters.
The battle isn't over.
There comes a time when you have to take action, when you have to choose your own destiny.
Never quite as it seems.
Watch the new Hulu original series, The Testaments, April 8th on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
There's no one like you, and there never will be.
From the producer of Bohemian Rhapsody, there are many legends, but there is only one. Michael, rated PG-13, in theaters April 24.
Hey y'all, it's time for Rolling Dice and Taking Names. In this episode, the guys review Compania, DC Breakout, Arkham Asylum, and Flip 7 with a Vengeance. And Marty stirs the pot with a rant on entitled gamers.
Hello and welcome to episode number 374, Kung Fu Fighting. I'm Tony.
I'm Marty.
Okay, you have to be zen whenever you talk about Kung Fu. You gotta go to the moment, center yourself. I know that's yoga too, but Kung Fu.
Did you watch the Kung Fu show in the 70s?
David Carradine?
Yes.
Snatch the Pebble? Yes.
Grasshopper?
Mm-hmm. Absolute. I did watch that. But this, of course, Chuck Norris passed away, and my heavens, Walker, you're gone. It's just unreal. Another one gone. I'm getting old.
Yeah, I mean, he was, 86-ish?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. an icon. A lot from jokes, right?
Yes.
Obviously, he was big. Enter the Dragon was a great movie. If you haven't ever seen it, go watch the clip of him fighting Bruce Lee. It's really, really good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people, I was going to remember him from his TV show, Walker, Texas Ranger. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yes. But the guy did a ton of stuff. And, of course, a lot of the jokes were flying after he passed away. And it's like, one of them was when he gets to the pearly gates, he tells the angel, "Fear not."
Yes. Chuck Norris, unfortunately, passed away. I'm sure there'll be other ones dropping. So on YouTube, I get these things that are AI generated, and it has what the people looked like during the show and where they are now. Okay? Yeah. You've seen these, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And last night I came across the one from Night Court. It would have been a shorter video if they had just done the ones that were alive.
John Larroquette. Who else is alive?
There was the lady, I think the original one that Matt replaced. The original bailiff, not the bailiff, the one that took care of Harry.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I think she's still alive. I think so, yeah.
But yeah, I was trying to think about that. Like Marky Post, Bull, Harry Anderson, man.
Flo, Marshall Warlaw. Marshall Warlaw was the other one.
Okay, yeah.
Roz.
Yes.
So I'm just like, oh man, so Larroquette and Roz, and that's it. I was like, wow. Okay. And then WKRP showed up, of course, and Lonnie, and you're just going, okay, all right.
Who else is alive from that? I guess Travis is still alive.
Howard Hessman.
Venus? No, Howard Hessman passed away. Is Venus still alive?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
They just keep coming.
Howard Hessman passed away a long time ago.
Okay. Les Nessman, I think he passed away too. Didn't he?
Yeah, well, he was old. I think Herb passed away, right?
Oh, well, can we do a podcast about death?
Howard Hessman passed away in 2022. Yeah, that's pretty depressing. We all start the show on a depressing note, so maybe we need to talk about that stuff later on in the show because it's such a downer when we start.
Well, we ramp up. We're coming on. We're coming on the on ramp to the interstate. Bringing in slow, and then we're accelerating. And there's a big hill you got to climb, and you're behind an 18-wheeler. And know you're not going to get up to speed, and you know that you're not going to be able to move over because you're the one right behind the 18-wheeler, and everybody behind you is going to jart into the freaking lane and not give you an opportunity, and you and that 18-wheeler are just going to go slowly onto the interstate, and you're just going to, hopefully, when he moves over, you got enough room to fly by him and get in front and go.
Is this from experience or something?
I have to get on with our local beltway here in Charlotte, North Carolina, 485. When I go into work and there is a hill that you got to climb, and the 18-wheelers are coming from the Amazon distribution center, and it's just like, oh, please don't be one today. And there's always 15 of them because Amazon's delivering everything. Just saying.
Oh, I need this today. Oh, sweet. Thank you. I'll have it this afternoon.
So our Star Wars Unlimited, we've got all the various seasons, and the first, what do you want to call them? Flight. What was the first 3 boxes now that they've been retired?
They've just been rotated out.
Rotated out. Thank you. Yes. The first 3 have been rotated out. And I'm like,
yes.
All right. Miniature Market, shopminiaturemarket.com. That's all they're going to get in their commercial today, by the way. I'm just saying. Anyway, shopminiaturemarket.com for all your gaming needs, unless it's GameGenic.
That's not Miniature Market's fault, though, man. I don't know why GameGenic is having a problem keeping their albums. Is that where you're going to go? The albums?
Yeah, album.
Keeping them in stock, man. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's just like, that's an evergreen, like with sleeves. They're just always there. And they are hard to find. And I know which one you're talking about. It's the casual album with the 18 pockets, 9 per each side of the sheet. Can't find them.
No, I can't find them on Amazon, but yeah. So I'm like, okay, I cannot get these things. I need to pick up this insert for a game that I want to make it more accessible, to be able to get out on the table easier if it ever shows itself to the table. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see. I'll wait and get that free shipping if I can, build that order to get that free shipping. And I'm like, okay, it's not there. So I decided I'm just going to go get a container, a clear plastic container, and the 3 that have rotated out, I'm going to slam them bad boys in the 3 plastic container and put what we're dealing with now, JTL up to the lawless time, and stick those in the binders I already have and say, screw this. Every time I rotate, I'm going to stick them in this little plastic container. Be done with it.
So you pulled them out of the album and put it in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not bad. I mean, that's not a bad idea. And it's one of those things too. It's like, unless you think you're going to play legacy format, I mean, I guess it's still good in Twin Suns. You just could try to just unload them if you want.
Yeah. Well, I've unloaded a lot, but I'm like, okay, yeah, to Twin Suns. I'd like to keep them around for Twin Suns, and I can use, online services, Star Wars Unlimited database, if I want to look for anything and find out where it is. I know where it's labeled in my container and just go pull that. I mean, I've still got an art case with a broken token divider with all my Lord of the Rings stuff in it. And I keep thinking, you know what? I could get it in one little box. And I don't want one of those big crate box things that you can get. I thought, do I want baseball card boxes? No, not really, because what happened to you? Those get wet.
Have you looked at some of the GameGenic solutions? They do have some storage containers that hold a lot of cards. So I recently got their big XL box, and it holds basically 10 years of Investigators cards, and it's only half full. That's 10 years of cards. So it is $60, $70. It is pricey, but it holds 4,000 unsleeved cards.
Okay.
It's all you need.
Yeah, and that could take care of Lord of the Rings. It could take care of whatchamacallit, all of it.
Like I said, I've got 10 years of Arkham Horror cards, and they fit in 2 of the columns. I have 2 left over.
Okay. Yeah. I'll think about that one. I was just like, for now, to get the Lawless Time into binders so I can sort through them. Then again, after what we did the other night playing, I may just not worry about it.
Yeah, so y'all, we're doing an Escalation League with a couple of our gaming friends who got into the game. So an Escalation League is basically where we start with their spotlight decks, are essentially starter decks from this set. And then each week we open 3 packs and we start using those cards from those 3 packs to modify your deck. And every week we open 3 packs and we go over 6 weeks. We end up opening 12 packs overall, half a booster box. So our first 2 rounds were just basically, we played 1 round with the 1 spotlight deck, 1 round with the other. And then last night, as of this recording, was our first night playing with cards from the first 3 packs. And it's one of those things that's not a lot of cards in those 3 packs. It's not going to make a dent in your deck, because you can't count on one-off cards in a deck to come up. It's like, ooh, if I get this, it's like, well, your chance of drawing that out of 50 cards when you need it, it's pretty slim.
Absolutely. And you know, basically you're a better player because our decks were mirrored and you just wiped me. And I was just like, I can't get through Han Solo to save my life. Personally, I'm beginning to think, okay, This is one of those cards where if they were going to run this Han Solo crap, where, Han Solo on attack, he gets an experience, which is a +1/+1 to his health, 1 to his damage. All right. I need somewhere in my deck the card that says eliminate all attached upgrades, and experience is one of those attached tokens or upgrades. And I'm just like, okay, that's like, takes me back to Netrunner, where we always had this one card, and I don't remember what it was, but you always had it so that you could battle people that had the other card. You had that counter effect because everybody was running it, And I was just like, I'm kind of concerned from that standpoint. But once again, we haven't implemented all the cards. We haven't started to see what the metas, what the various games mechanics are that we can use. Still loving the game mechanics. I was sitting there driving home last night thinking, if I ever get to the Jabba deck, I am so going to run credits hard, and I'm going to slap one of the the big nasty thing that ate the pig, Rancor.
Oh yeah, the Rancor. Yes.
Jabba's Rancor. I'm going to drop me a Jabba's Rancor down on the 4th resource and then pay 3 credits. And I'm going to have him sitting out there because I think he's a 7 on cost. I'm thinking, yeah, there you go.
Also, the thing about the Spotlight deck with Jabba, he does have removal. It goes back into your hand. So that's one way. If you got upgraded Han, yeah, you put him back in their hand, they could play him again, but at least you get rid of all those XP tokens. And now they have to work to build it back up again.
And at that point, it's late in the game.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there is a way to get rid of Han with some of the. I mean, there's either just defeat or just remove him from gameplay. Mm-hmm. Well, one that I had was the one where there's a card where you give +2/+2 experience to somebody, and then you can defeat a unit that has power equal to or less than the unit you put those experience on. That's another good way to get rid of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
My recommendation is go to Force Table and play against AI. Yeah. Put your deck in there and just play. So you know your deck very well, and play against the different Spotlight decks and stuff. And it's good experience. That's what I did. So I knew my deck very well. I knew what I was going for and what I needed to get on the table. So,
if I do that, AI is going to come back and say, "Really, you bringing that crap?"
It's not very good. There are some decisions that it makes I think is the wrong decision. Like there are times it could have taken me out, and it chose to attack a unit instead. So it's not the best, but it does get you to play with your cards and get used to playing with your cards. Which is nice. And of course, we can always play against each other online in real time, right? I mean, you use SWU DB to enter in your deck, and then we can take it over to, I can't think of the name of the site, where you can play against real people and import the deck and play. In fact, I was sitting there thinking, I would love to. I know that we don't get to play for a couple of weeks. I'm out of town, then you're out of town, etc. If this is where, man, if we could meet for lunch or something like that and play test our decks before we play on Thursday night, it'd be fun.
We need to, what was it our gaming buddies were doing today? Put into locations. AI. I don't use AI that much, but put in 2 locations and say, okay, go find us a central location to eat at. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty freaking cool. I never even thought about that. There's so much that it could do for us, but I'm scared it's going to take over.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I saw a survey today done by tabletop game designers that they had asked 171 designers about the use of AI. There are more people that said, I'm okay with it than I'm totally against it. And I can't remember what the percentages were. I actually posted a link on our X account with the survey. Obviously, a lot of people are against the art, correct? But I think a lot of people are more receptive to proofreading. Maybe rewarding stuff, scenarios. Like, here, I'm going to throw you this. I want you to play through this 100,000 times or whatever like that and tell me the results. And then you may need to tweak numbers in there to get stuff to work. So as part of the game design thing, it's one of those things I said on X. I said, look, if you give this survey every year, the percentage of people that are going to be okay or using AI is just going to increase over time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a good, I mean, I use it all the time for craft an email, give it as short sentences, and say, make this professional. Out it comes, and I'm good.
I had to use it this week. I wanted to come up with a algorithm for doing something, and I was just curious what happens if I throw it at AI. So I went to Copilot and Microsoft and gave it to it, and I implemented. I said, this is not right. Something does not seem right. And so I went to ChatGPT, and it gave a different result, which was the correct result. And then I decided I'm going to try one more spot, Claude, which is another AI service for making software. Much better solution. Much better. It's like, I'm going to use that one.
Okay.
Now, of course, you have to check all this stuff, right? If I had just gone with the Copilot, it never would have worked. Mm-hmm. So you still have to verify that it's right. But it just saves you 30 minutes, maybe, coming up with an algorithm when it just spits it out and say, okay, let me run a quick test to make sure it works. What deal?
Yeah.
But then it was like the guy I worked for, he said, try them all. He said, I'm curious to see which one you like the best. And Claude ended up being the best of the three.
I tell you what, they ain't going to get a single dollar out of my wallet for any of their AI stuff. Cheap.
Well, I mean, again, our company probably pays for Copilot because we are in the Microsoft ecosphere.
Right. Yeah. I mean, shoot, I got to save my money for Kickstarter stuff because there was a huge announcement this week that you've been sitting on a while.
Me, you too. You heard about this. We both sat on this.
Yeah, well,
back in 2024,
Yeah.
we're sitting at the Indianapolis Indians games. Indianapolis Indians game. Okay, had to put the S's in the right spot. We were sitting with Justin Jacobson, who is the CEO, whatever his title is for Restoration Game. He has these gaming titles, you know. We were just talking about, hey, what you got coming up? He said, I'm going to tell you something, but you got to keep it a secret. Queen's Gambit, but a Lord of the Rings theme. I went, dude, you will break the internet because Queen's Gambit is one of those Grail games that Rob Davio designed back in early 2000, around 2000. You can't find. I actually went and looked, Tony, on eBay. You can find it for like $400 to $500. It's a very expensive game. I think I played it once.
We played it once.
Many years ago at BGG, and I don't remember anything about it. I know that the Star Wars miniatures game that came out, I got on Amazon that kind of plays like it, but I'm a huge Lord of the Rings geek. I remember him telling us that, look, he said, here's our goal. We're trying to get the license working with New Line Media, Asmodee, because they have the Lord of the Rings license. And what we want to do is come out with a Kickstarter version, and then they take over the retail version. And they just announced this week that's what they're going to do. It's called the Lord of the Rings King's Gambit. And I believe the theme of it is you're on Pelennor Fields. And I believe it's that fight in front of Gondor. What's the Gondorian capital called? I can't believe I just forgot it.
So, I thought it not. Oh, shoot. It's not Isengard. I'll have, oh my gosh. What'd you say?
This is sad.
This
oh my
is
gosh.
Sad. Minas Tirith, not Minas Tirith.
Yes, Minas Tirith. Minas Tirith, that's right.
Minas Tirith. Okay.
So, yes. Anyway, so it's supposed to recreate that battle from Return of the Kings. Super excited. We have no pictures or anything. I can't imagine what the deluxe version is going to look like with the miniatures and everything. But I DM Justin. He and Rob are willing to come on the show when the time is right. Because we typically have those guys on when they do a big Kickstarter. The Kickstarter will launch in September. They will have demos at Gen Con. So everybody pay attention or stay tuned. Probably in a few months, we will have them on the show. And Tony, I was actually thinking about, I wonder if there's any way, if people would be interested, if we could do a live show. We use Riverside like we're using right now, where people can basically come in live and let them know and have some questions that can be fielded along the way.
Okay. That'd be kind of fun. I mean, it's not like they'll get a ton of questions for the three people that are watching. I'm sitting here on the website saying, do I really want to notify me of when it goes live? I'm like, no, I don't need to sell my email address for this. I'll know plenty. There'll be plenty of information out there. I don't have to worry about being notified when it goes live.
Yeah, we'll keep up with it. I am super excited about that. I love Lord of the Rings. I love what Restoration Games does with older games. I think it's really cool that Rob Davio, who originally designed this game 26 years later, gets to put his thumbprint on a new version of it with a new theme. And to be honest with you, I think this theme will go over better than what a Star Wars would.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm looking forward to it. It's one of those that I will definitely do. I don't, go out a lot about Kickstarters anymore, but it's something I would get behind. Limited edition. If anything, I mean, if it stays true, it's not going to be one of those things. It's one of those games to pass down for years and years and years. Because Lord of the Rings is never going to go away. I've got a popcorn bucket. I can sit there eating my popcorn out of my Lord of the Rings bucket. I'm going to have to go find me a Lord of the Rings playmat to lay it out. Oh, there'll be a playmat in this. Who am I kidding? They'll put a playmat that you'll set the board on. If they don't, the opportunity lost.
Well, you remember how they blinged out Thunder Road, Return to Dark Tower. It's going to be insane
Good
what
for
they're
them.
going to do with that. Yeah. So, and what's cool is it's like, Marty, I can't afford that crap. No worries. I believe
Retail.
it was, there's a retail version coming from
Space Cowboys.
Thank you. Space Cowboys is coming out, the cheaper retail version. If you don't get the Kickstarter version, no worries. It will be coming to retail, so they'll carry it that way. If you want to get your hands on this game, you'll be able to do so. Speaking of Kickstarters, another big Kickstarter just launched from Roxley Games, Brass Pittsburgh. Now, Brass Birmingham is one of my all-time favorite, like really crunchy resource management games. It's from Martin Wallace. Always been a big fan of it. I haven't played it in years, but it was always a lot of fun. And so he's coming out with the new version, Brass Pittsburgh. I think the main driver here, I think oil is kind of what the resource is going to be, the main resource driving in this. So it's taking the basics of brass and tweaking it up a little bit. And it is out there right now. I'm thinking about getting the special edition version.
Really?
Yeah. I really like brass.
Okay. So I had the brass, the one that everybody wasn't a biggest fan of, Lancashire. So I sold that off at a Mega Moose Con auction because I never opened it. Hell, never took it out of the Kickstarter box. So why Pittsburgh? What is it that's going to grab you for a game that we don't really play? Let's talk.
Because I might want to play it, and I probably would only keep one of the two. I wouldn't keep all three flavors. But let's say, oh, you know what? I like Birmingham better. Then I'll just sell this Kickstarter version. I'm not going to keep all three on the shelf because I can't ever see myself going, well, this time I would prefer this brass over this brass. To me, that's my favorite. That's the one I want to play.
Okay.
I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not getting the metal iron clay tokens. I've already got a nice set of iron clay. I don't like metal. I like the clay poker chips better anyway.
Me too.
That's just me. But I put in here Rant, and here's what this is about. When this came out, I saw people complaining. Oh my gosh, why has everything got to be so expensive? Why do you have to add all this stuff? Why are you gatekeeping people from getting the game? That kind of crap bothers me because like in this Kickstarter and the Lord of the Rings that we just talked about, King's Gambit, they're coming out the retail version. Nobody says you have to buy the Uber Deluxe version if you really want the game. Most Kickstarters, when they have an Uber Deluxe version, unless it's a limited print, there's going to be a retail version. And guess what? You don't have to back the retail version on Kickstarter. Smart money is wait till it hits retail and get it even cheaper than MSRP. Hey, it's going to come to Miniature Market. You get it. You get the free shipping, and it's cheaper than that. So it just really irritates me. My gosh, over the past 10 years ago, video gamers were the most entitled. It's like that. Why don't you make a game for me? Okay, if a game's not for you, you just don't buy it. If you don't like the deluxe version, you just don't get it. Board gamers have become so entitled when it comes to expensive things. Here's the thing, y'all. Board games is a luxury item. It's a luxury. You don't need it. You don't have to have it, and nobody has to price it to where you can buy it. You know what? I'd like to have a Ferrari. I can't go buy a Ferrari for an inexpensive price. Are they gatekeeping me from not getting a Ferrari? I guess maybe so, but I just get something else instead. That's a luxury item.
I've already complained enough on the start of this show about money. You know I'm not coming off the hip. I'm the perfect person that says, you ain't gatekeeping me. I ain't going to buy it. If you want my money, you're going to come to my level, my cost point. I don't need something that bad. I look at what I already have. Therefore, guess what? I'm good with this. So I hear you, man. I agree with you on that.
If you really, really want it, you'll find the means. Sell some of your other games.
You got 2 kidneys?
You only need one.
Okay, you may not have 2. Then we'll talk. Okay.
Yeah. If you only got one, don't do that. Brass Pittsburgh is not worth that.
No.
So I just said it because I see it so often when like Awakened Realms comes out with an Uber version of a game and people just lose their minds. You don't have to buy it. They don't have to price it to where you can buy it. If it wasn't priced to the point where they didn't make any money, they wouldn't price it that way.
That's right.
Brass Birmingham, I think, is well over $2 million right now. Okay, I think this is what people want. The market spoke, and we're giving it to them.
I wonder if there's a job that does research about what people want. That'd be a cool job to have if that's, to figure these things out. I wonder if there is such a job. Oh, I think there is. Okay.
Come on, marketing.
Yeah. Imagine that. Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, they look at this stuff and they go, what will the market bear? What do the people want? And again, if it was overpriced, then the market would say, we don't want this, and it wouldn't fund. Mm-hmm. And it'd be done. It'd be over. That's how it works, man. Anyway, sorry. That was it really irritated me the other day. And luckily, most of our audience is really cool. They're common sense. We got a based audience because I see it all the time on our Discord channel, which is sweet too. All right, last thing on Kickstarter. A Kickstarter that came out years ago that we talked about in, what had it been, 2023 or 2024 at Gen Con. We got to see a behind-the-scenes look at the altered TCG game that came out. That I thought was a brilliant game until, what's this QR code on here for? And then we hear Altered TCG's whole business model of print-on-demand cards, digital collections that can be printed at any time, trading digital cards and then being able to print. I said that day to the people who are the publishers or the designers, and I said, you guys are cutting out the local game store. You're cutting out your bread and butter. And they said, no, we feel good about this. Well, last week, they pulled the plug on Altered. It is now a dead game.
Oh, no shock on this face. I know people can't see it. No. Mm-mm.
No shock at all, because it was a business model that was not going to work in this space. Not when you're competing against so many other successful TCGs that are following the formula that works. I appreciate the fact that you tried. I think that's good to try new things, but you're cutting out the most important aspect, which is the local game store. There was no need for them to carry. You can't carry singles, because I could buy a card from you and just have it printed off. You cut out the middleman.
Mm-hmm. No. I mean, what's sad is I enjoyed playing it. I enjoyed playing the game. It's a good game, but it's just one of those that, okay, can't get product. All I could do is go to the Kickstarter. There's no local support. Not that I can make it to anything from a tournament type style, and nor would there be, because what would the store want to do with the stuff? Oh, you want here, scan a digital code. That may mean nothing. They got to keep the lights on. Come on now.
I agree. I think the game's clever. I love the idea that you're racing two people down a path to meet each other. It's not, okay, get somebody's life to zero. I thought it was a clever gameplay. I wish they would have said, you know what, we're going to come out with an LCG or something like that. Or here's the base set. Just buy a box. Here's all the cards you need to play the game. Don't worry about competitive stuff. And I think you'd have somewhat of a market there, kind of like with Ashes. Ashes just continues to put out stuff. They got a small fan base. They still play the game. I think I like this way more than Lorcana. I liked Altered because I think we saw Lorcana the same year. Yeah. We liked it way more. Now, we liked SWU better than both of them, but still, Altered was good.
I don't know if I'm going to get on board with your SWUing. I'll try. I'll still go SWU.
You ain't got to. That's just short version.
You're just it's gatekeeping me from playing in the Star Wars Unlimited. but if you can't say SWU, you can't come play. I know how you are. I know what you're doing to me. I'm okay with that.
It's easier than Star Wars Unlimited.
I say it just so I can remember what's the third word in this whole thing. Star Wars Unlimited. I keep thinking, who is it? It's not Star Wars Trading Card. What is it? Star Wars. What did we play before? Oh my God. I can't remember them all, but all right. Okay. Any other, Cyberpunk. Okay. Yeah. We'll get our starters. We got to.
Why not? Why not? The risk is super low. We back at the one where you get the special beta box with all the special stuff in it. And if there's a demand for that, we can make our money back easily. Again, they're doing something different with the dice. Will it work? Don't know. Won't know until you try it. It is on its way to becoming the biggest Kickstarter for tabletop in the history of tabletop games.
Just to say I was part of it.
It's only like 1 million away from being able to do it, and it still has 20 days left at the time of this recording.
Well, at the time of this recording, I got an announcement. So I've been part of the Envoy group, which, for those of you who don't know, Envoy supports the various cons, conventions that go out there. They also do a lot of demos. They get games in people's hands, and it's your responsibility to learn the game. You go through a little quiz, let's say, where you have to go and say, hey, this is how you teach the game, this is how you play the game. And they say, yeah, you're certified. Now you can go out and teach. Kind of a neat concept. I like what they do. I especially like it that he's able to pull on people to support the various publishers to go to cons. So they're not constantly battling for finding people. They go, hey, let's go to Envoy, see if they've got anybody available. Here's the various discounts. Well, you're going to appreciate this. So today in our email says, hey, we have an opportunity for our Envoy Heralds to go demo a game at your local game stores. It's a big one. Y'all ready for this? Arkham Horror Living Card Game, 2nd edition. Core box. Come, try this out. So check your local stores. This one was quickly snatched up by a bunch of heralds. So the reason why I bring it up to you, Marty, is that's pretty good. Them reintroducing it again and getting it out to, they usually limit it to like 100 heralds to go and do these things, but getting it out into the actual stores to let people play. Now, all I got to do is say, Marty, bring your Arkham Horror if I want a demo. But for if you heard our episode last and heard Vanessa, who did an amazing job on it, talking about the game, here's an opportunity. Go check your local stores, go check the Envoy site possibly, and see where the demos are being held. I think it's at the end of April that they are going to hold those demos. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Do you know where the site is for people to go look up, see what stores are participating?
I will have to research that, and I will post it in our show notes with a link.
Got it. Sounds good. All right. Hey, you brought me something special last night. We hadn't done taste buds in a while. It looks like we got a new Mountain Dew. All we do is Mountain Dews now. We got to find something else. Hey, y'all, if you got something interesting for us to try, let us know. Contact us, DM us, email us over at like rolldicetechnames@gmail.com. And if you got something you want us to try, I'll give you a mailing address. You can send it to us. We'll pay for shipping or whatever like that. And you can send something to us. But right now, we have a new Mountain Dew to try out.
Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. They're just a bunch of.
All right, Tony, what we got here?
What we have is a Mountain Dew Zero Sugar, because we're always watching our weight around here. Baja Blast Tropical Lime. So it's like Mountain Dew's only doing Baja stuff. Everything's Baja. But I'm ready to open this up. See, I like the citrus one, but I can't find the zero in that anymore. Really like the citrus Baja. That was really good. Like that one.
It was good. All right, here we go. It's funny. Baja Blast only used to be at Taco Bell. It was like a special thing at Taco Bell. Now it's everywhere.
Ooh.
It smells like lime.
That hit.
It smells like Mountain Dew lime.
Uh-huh.
All right, here we go. Not bad. It's not bad.
Not bad at all. Oh, getting a little bad aftertaste there on the back burner side of the...
Baja Blast does that. Anytime I have a Baja Blast, there's always an aftertaste.
It's not as strong as lime that I want. I want a little bit more kick. I want a little bit more... Is lime sour? I don't think I've ever sucked on a lime. I know I have
citrus.
Citrus, yeah. I mean, I think I want a little bit more.
So the Coke Zero Lime or Diet Coke Lime has more lime in it?
Oh, yeah. Donna went through those when I brought in that pallet. Man.
Pallet. Dude, just drop it off in the garage.
Hey, when you and your wife came by when y'all were on the way to the airport and y'all saw all the Coke I had on the shelves. And
So
that was like
funny. It's like Costco with their house in the garage with soft drinks. It's so funny. It's like a Coke distributor works out of there.
I know. I'm like, holy cow. That's how you do it. That's right. You put it, there's all the Diet Coke, all the Coke Zero. That's what you got to do to make it happen. But no, I'm with you, man. We need to find something else. I mean, no new moon pie flavors are coming out. No new flavors of cockroaches. People need to get adventurous.
So again, if anybody has any ideas, please let us know. We'll be adventurous. We've done nasty stuff in the past, but I will not do a durian flavor anything. I've done that once. I do not need to do it again. Over at shopportalgames.com, one of the big hits from Essen last year was a Portal game called Bohemians. Right now, you can order today for just $32. Regular, it's $39.95. You can get it now for $32, and it comes with the solo scenario. So if you're into solo gaming, they give you a way to play this game all by your lonesome. And if you got some friends, well, you can get that on the table too now for just $32. Also, don't forget the anniversary edition of Neuroshima Hex is also out now. This is the good jumping in point. And go ahead and grab that new army for Neuroshima Hex called Wireman. You can find all this and more over at shopportalgames.com.
Five-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody. If you've played Magical Athlete and you like the simplicity but the total chaos of that game, then I suggest you might want to try DC Breakout Arkham Asylum from WizKids Game, designed by the family of the Engelsteins, Jeff, Brian, and Sydney. Now, Tony, when I presented this game to you, I just said, all right, you've played Magical Athlete. It's roll and move. And you went, yep. I said, this is roll and move with special powers depending on who you're controlling.
Yep. I like it. There you go. The Engelsteins got out of the asylum. We appreciate them designing. We really enjoyed Magical Athlete. So we were sitting like, well, what's the knockoff of this? How is this going to be any different? Well, first off, for me, it's about the speed of the game. Sometimes, and we'll be comparing throughout this talk, it's what Magical Athlete versus Breakout, but this is a lot faster to play, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. You've got all these combos flying around in Magical Athlete. Here you have the same thing, but they resolve quicker. I really enjoyed how this game moved on the table, some of the fun we had with it, some of the special things that were going on. I thought this was different enough to stand on its own.
So the game is basically you're trying to break out of Arkham Asylum. It's played over 2 rounds, and there's basically what they call 2 escapes. Each round is an escape. The first round is 3 random map tiles are put on the board, and you're trying to get from the start to the finish. The second round is also putting down map tiles. It's 4 this time, and you try to race from start to finish. The first person to get out in the second round basically wins the game. You're dealt 5 villain cards at the beginning. You're going to pick 2 as the first 2 villains are going to try that first escape. They go together in a standee. You put your cards down. They have special abilities. Roll and move. And Tony, just like Magical Athlete, hey, you get a bonus here. You could jump to this person. You force a person to move back. There's tons of stuff. But one thing that is different in this game is that there are gadget cards that you can get as you make your run if you land on a space with a gear, or when you get to the very end of the round, you will get, depending on how you placed, you'll be able to draw gadget cards and add them to your hand for the next round. This is different than Magical Athlete because these are also one-time use cards that break rules of the game, which adds some insane combos.
Yes, and that was one of the nice things I liked. That was one of the nice additions that I enjoyed. Similar effects that we had in Magical Athlete, but they were one-time uses. So I thought that was a great add. Now on the board, as you're moving and rolling along, you've got various spots on the board of square, circle, and triangle. It's important to know that sometimes if you're on a square, you'll get a special effect based on the card. Or maybe you've got a villain that has something that says, hey, if someone is on the same shape as I am, I can impact them. Also, villains have what they call the tokens that I like this point of the game as well, Marty. To use that villain's special power, you have to spend a token. So it's not always in play. So I thought that was a very nice addition to the game. I just think of just how insane our games were and say, you know what? If I want to do this, I like the drafting mechanism. I and thought that was pretty clever, picking the 2 to see how they comboed. I thought that was pretty sweet. I mean, there was just a lot about this game, and we'll talk about one of the things that happened in one of our games here in a little bit, because what other thoughts do you have on this?
So just one more thing. At the very end of the round, there is a random villain that is put down at the end of the first round. The first person there can swap out one of their remaining villains with what's on the table, because the 2 villains that you picked in the first round don't get used the next round. Instead, you'll pick 2 of your 3 to go for the second escape or the second round. Well, if you want to, you could swap out one of those 3 villains with what's on the table. And whatever you swap out with, the next person who finished behind you can also do a swap with either the original one that was there or the one that was just placed there by the player before them. So you do get to tweak maybe your combo for the second round, depending on how it went.
The winner is whoever gets out of Arkham twice. That's the winner. It's not about counting up points. At first I thought, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to like that. I like to be able to strategize a little bit. This game ain't about that, y'all. As quick as this thing plays, shoot. Set it up, go again, see if someone else can escape out twice. Or maybe they got captured again. Oh, no, let's go one more round. Let's deal out some more cards. We're having such a great time.
We played 2 games in 30 to 35 minutes. That's how fast it plays. If you, and this game plays up to 6 players, and obviously like Magical Athlete, the more that play, the better it is.
And I will say the tiles that you're moving through are all different, have different shape. Oh, it has the 3 shapes on them, but they have different numbers of those shapes. So you need to be thinking ahead as to when I make it to the 3rd tile, those have more squares than circles. So maybe I have a special gadget that says, hey, when you move, you get to bypass all of the squares. Mm-hmm. I've been dying to say this. This was hilarious. In one of the games we were playing, I was on tile number 3. I was in the lead, but, it was like this. And Mark plays a special card on me that I can't do something. But then I play a special gadget that says, oh, by the way, you can bypass all squares. My special ability was bypass all circles. And then there were only triangles on that last card, and I rolled a 5. I cleared an entire tile before the other gentleman got moved. It was hilarious. That's what I love about these types of games.
And that's what makes the game so good. And that's one of those things that's like, it took us 15 minutes to go, oh, no. Reset the board. We're doing this again. And that's tough with Magical Athlete because is it 4 races or
4 races?
4 races in Magical Athlete with 4 to 5 players can take a while, especially on that board, the one board where you're jumping back and forth and stuff like that. A full game of 4 to 5 players, when I play, it typically takes about an hour.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about on this is the villains are just basic punch outs, right? That you put on little stands. There are no miniatures or no special acrylic standees. I'm good with that. Keep the price point low, right? That's what this game should be about. Commend them for doing that.
I agree, Tony, because right now on Miniature Market, we're talking $26.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling y'all, if you like Magical Athlete or this sounds good to you, $26 is worth your investment. I was unsure of this game. I love games that surprise me. This surprised me. If you have family with kids, they will freaking love this. The art is cute. It's very cartoony, very comic-y. It's not serious looking. It's just villains from the DC universe trying to escape Arkham Asylum. So for me, Tony, staying in the collection right beside Magical Athlete, because depending on the time, I may pull this one out over Magical Athlete.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm going to have to add it to my collection because Magical Athlete's great game. Enjoy that. Love the pieces. Enjoy the special abilities. But, from the standpoint of just ease to play, we've got about 15, 20 minutes where we're waiting on somebody. You got to play with, at least 3 players on this. Pull this one out. No brainer.
So that is DC Breakout Arkham Asylum from WizKids Games.
5-minute initiative is complete.
All right, Tony, last year, we went and visited Level 99 Games. It was kind of off in a little room in a hotel at Gen Con, and they showed us some of the stuff that was coming out. And one thing that they showed us I was super interested in, it's a game called Compania. This is from designer Yog Akasi, and it's also, the artist is Yog Akasi. So he did both the art and designed the game, and the art's really nice. So, Tony, if I was to sum up this, and you tell me if I'm wrong, what is this game? It's a worker placement. It's an area control. It's a resource management game.
Okay. Resource, yeah. Is it worker placement? Because you don't always, usually when you place a worker, you get something. Here you're placing a worker, and sometimes you're not getting something. But I get you. Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, all right, well, Marty, that sounds like any other game I played. What's different? Here's what's different. It's blind worker placement, meaning you have a player shield, and you're going to have, you have a little board that you can place dice. There's dice in this game, and there's action tiles on the main board. You start out with a set number of 6, and then you're going to add 1 each round. You're going to take your die, put it to a certain value on the pip, and assign it to each spot. Everybody reveals at the same time. Then you take colored cubes of your color and place them on the action spot based on the number of pips you put on your dice. If you have the majority or tie with somebody else with the majority there, you get to take that action. Those actions are going to be getting one of 3 different types of resources, drawing some new building cards because you want to put building cards into play. That's the goal of the game, is because that's how you're going to generate money, which is the main goal of the game. Or you could like add a new die to your die pool, or increment the sum of the dice that you place, meaning you start out with 3 dice. The max your dice can total is 5. So when I put my 3 dice on the board, they just can't exceed 5, but I can increment that from 5 to 6 to 7, etc. Add more dice to my pool, 3 dice, 4 dice, because as the game goes on and there's more actions available, you'll have more options to put them on the board. So that's what's different, Tony. But I think the thing, Tony, I love about this the best, this is a simultaneous action Euro game that you can easily play with 4 players in an hour, and that was a big appeal to me.
Mm-hmm. And it goes up to 5, just so everybody knows. So for me, the appeal,
it goes up to 6.
Oh, 6. That's right. Best with 4 or 5. 6 would be crazy.
It would be insane because you're fighting over the same amount of spots, regardless of the number of players. You're fighting over the same number of action spots on the board. Mm-hmm. So you'll probably just have more ties, which is good. You don't have to exceed anybody else. If you just tie for the most, then you get to take that action.
Yeah, I mean, I like the simplicity of the game. I like the speed of the game because everybody knows, Lord, don't let it stay on the table too long for me, especially for what I'm having to do is basically convert resources to go put it into a building aspect that I will then use that to convert into money, which will eventually cause me to win or lose if I don't have enough money, which is how the game is. I mean, it's get resources, modify the resources into a buildings generate money, rinse and repeat. What was it, 9 rounds?
9 rounds, yep.
9 rounds, and they move. It's reveal those dice, put your cubes out on the board, hope that you got the majority in a certain area. If you don't, or someone takes it from you, cuss at them for a little bit, and then move on. And that's what we were doing. I tell you what, I've never seen us just yell at each other. I mean, it was good yelling, but I mean, it's like, why did you do that?
You know, like, so, all right, I got 3 cubes over here. I'm pretty much set. And Mark comes and drops 4. It's like, oh my gosh, because I needed those resources to put this building into play. Now, there's 4 phases per game. Like I said, the first one is assigning your dice blindly. Second phase, revealing your dice, putting cubes on the board, and taking the actions of those locations. Third is building the buildings, activate your buildings, which is going to be spend resources to get money, or there are some types of buildings that you will get money if you have control or sole control of an action area. Sole control means you're the one with the most. You don't tie with anybody else. And if you have control, you can have the most or be tied with somebody else. Fourth phase is cleanup. Now, Tony, here's what I like is during the cleanup, anybody that got to use that action tile, they remove their cubes from the board. But if you didn't get to, your cubes stay there for the next round, which will help you get majority in the next round.
Yeah, I like that phase too. So let's take, action number 1, the blind. You say blind, no one else can see your dice. The way I was playing, heck, I don't think I was seeing the dice and the numbers I was setting up. But anyway, you're putting them out there. You're putting them on the various areas. So the board, when you look at it, it is a 3x5 board, if I remember correctly. And each round, a new tile will come out. But the board is pre-populated with 6 tiles already, which are your basic. They'll never change from game to game. Mm-hmm. And you've got to decide based on, as Marty said, your 3 initial dice, how do I want to spend the amount of workers on these things to try to get the majority? And that was probably the longest part of the game for us. That took up most of the time. Everything else was flying.
Because you're looking at the cards. Again, there's 3 colored resources that you use to build cards. You look at what's in your hand and go, boy, I really need green this time. So I need to try to make sure I get control of that action spot to get a lot of green. And what's nice is as the game comes out, it adds more opportunities to get green. Usually they're better actions. The base actions like draw 2 card, discard a card. An upgraded action later on may come out is draw 3, discard 1. And there's a stack of tiles. So every time you play the game, they're going to be different and they're going to come out in a different order. So then it's basically get resources, like you said, build those buildings using those resources, but then you have to generate those resources again to activate the buildings to make money. One thing I do like too is you got buildings, but you can build extensions, which means you take a building card and put it underneath an existing building card. And what that allows you to do is a few things. One is when I activate this building, not only do I get the base value from the original card, I get whatever's on the extension of the card underneath it, generates more money. Some of those are like, okay, reduce the cost of activating this building by this type of resource. Oh, this one needs 1 pink, 1 green. This reduces the cost by 1 green, so you only need 1 pink to activate it. The ones where you get points based on the number of areas you control, there are some that'll go, okay, add 1 to the amount of areas you control. So if I control 5, add 1 to it, add 6, multiply by however many coins I get for activating that particular building. Like you said, rinse, repeat for 9 rounds. But what's interesting is each round gets a little more intricate because you have more resources to build stuff, more ways to activate buildings. The first round, you're not going to build a building. There's probably hardly any chance that you're going to get enough resources to build a building. So the first round finishes in 2 minutes.
Right. Yeah. I will say about the cards, the buildings that we're talking about, you can go into the game and then we played various strategies. Some of them, we'll talk about this a little bit later. The buildings, you have icons across the top that will say, okay, you have to build a building of this, either a ship or a crown. These are the icons on the top, just plain and simple. And under those buildings, whatever you extend it has to have the matching symbol that goes with it, not only the crown, but the matching icon that's on the bottom of the card. So as you get cards into your hand, which is one of the tiles that you have to land on to get additional cards, you can play towards that. You can see what your tableau is going to look like. Now, it is luck of the draw, and that's something people may not like about this. I'm sitting here drawing these cards, and to be honest with you, I can't get any of those resources, or better yet, I can't get any matching symbols, and I don't want a whole bunch of buildings out there. You know, I did find that to be, you kind of want to mimic, you want to limit your tableau. That's one of the key things.
We played this game 3 times. I played 1 with 3 players, 2 with 4 players. And the second game, I got stuck in that, Tony, because I committed to buildings with pink resources, which are hard to get. The original starting tile, there's one place you can get 1 pink. And I knew there were more that you could get more, but they never came up. So I committed to a strategy and then never got to fulfill it. By the time I tried to pivot in the 3rd or 4th round, it was just too late. And I got blown away that game. So luck of the cards is a big deal.
Yeah, it really is.
And because of that, I think that's my biggest nitpick of this game is potentially luck of the draw. Beginning of the game, you get 4 cards, you get to keep 2. You might get lucky and get 2 that synergize perfectly, and they're cheap.
Yeah, I agree with you that the card draw was somewhat challenging at times, and especially if the card draw doesn't match the tiles that are being flipped in later rounds. Like in one of our games, we were challenged pink, and we had, I think it was 1 pink tile that came out where everybody was fighting for that, get that pink resource.
That was the game where I was going to build pink early on, and I couldn't get enough to do it.
Right, and then in a later game, we had 3 tiles with pink. Now, I will say that in one of the games, we supplemented it. We gave it the advanced stuff, and we'll talk a little about that. But we had additional tiles, which diluted the pool, which kind of threw off the draw of the pink tiles. But there is still some that will not come out, even in the base game, in the normal game. So I agree with you. Yeah, because one of the games I'm sitting there thinking, my draw was a mixture of colors, but yet Bert had nothing but yellow, right? And it was like, well, we knew his strategy going into it. I mean, we're pretty open when we're playing the game as we look into it and analyze the game. So it's not like we're trying to win, which is a good thing for me because that doesn't happen. And
so what happens is in the situation where you don't get the cards you need, then you're investing your workers onto the action tiles to draw more cards. Whereas if you got the cards you need, you don't got to worry about that right now. You invest in the tiles to give you the resources to build the buildings to generate the money. And money is pretty important. And if you can't get it early on, it really puts you behind because, like I said, there's 4 phases to the game. The 3rd phase where you're building buildings and you're also activating buildings, there's another thing you can do called investment. On the right side of the board, you're going to put 4 investment tiles into play. These are random. There's 3 per phase. And what these are you can spend money to get special abilities during each phase of the game. One of the very simple ones was that we got recently was you spend a certain amount of money and you put your marker there to show that you have that ability. At the beginning of the first phase, roll a die. If you got a 4 or higher, you get free resources.
Yes.
Then there's one that's like in the building phase. Whenever you build a building, you get a free resource. So you can also invest in these special abilities that come up per phase. So you need money early on to get your engine going, which means you need cheap buildings.
So I like the investments. I like that. I thought that provided an interesting dynamic to the game of, okay, I got to spend what is going to help me win, but it will make it better in the long run, because the better the upgrade, the more money I got to spend. And to your point, in one of our games, I spent a lot of my victory points, money, on the one that allowed me to just go draw a bunch of cards. And so I had a bunch of them trying to root through the deck, the cards I needed for my buildings and my extensions.
Now, I like that too, and it changes every game. So another thing that we ran into after 3 games, we'd mentioned there's 2 types of cards. One where you spend resources to generate money, one where you just need control. After 2 games, people started changing things around. It's like, what happens if I go only for the buildings where I spend resources to make money? I went for, I'm just going to build the buildings that if I have control, I generate money. And what we found, I don't think you can ignore the buildings that give you money for control. It seems like you need to go heavy into that, or at least split. Because in our last game, Bert won our first 2 games, and he had a lot of that control engine going. Hey, if whenever I control something, I'm going to generate like 8 or 9 money. So if you can control multiple spots each round, you're generating tons of income. So he said, I'm going to try a different thing. I'm just going to do the buildings where I spend resources to generate income. And that was a lot tougher. Mm-hmm. And he found out, and he didn't win. I won the 3rd game because I went straight control. So I don't know whether it's like, if you play this game, you can't ignore the control building cards.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I mean, but you were generating a lot of your victory points, money at the end. Now, you could have died on that sword. Because there's 2 types. There's one where you have sole control, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's the ones where you share control. And on those cards, they're both there, but the engine you had built was purely about sharing control. Think about the luck that you had to make sure that you were able to share control. And it just so happens it did, which then had you develop a strategy where you needed the ability to put out a lot of workers, a lot of cubes, as well as use a lot of dice to help you try to mitigate that. And that's what you worked for. So you did it very well. You pulled it off meticulously because you generated a ton of points in the last 3 rounds.
Yeah. And that's because over the course of the game, I kept trying to take the action to get more dice in my pool and be able to increase the sum of the value of dice that I had. So as I was constantly increasing that over the game, that allowed me to get more dice and just spread them all out. And I started going to tiles that I figured that nobody wanted anymore. Why go to a tile that gives you 1 when there's a tile over there that gives you 2 of it? I didn't care. I just wanted control.
Right, you wanted control. Same here. I had 2 types of buildings. I had ones that required me to use pink. So I was always going to the tiles that had all the pink. When I saw those come out, I'm like, ooh, let's try that strategy. And I had the ones, I didn't get as many of the share control cards as you did. Well, I've got some of them. That's a lot of points. Let's see how this works. And let's hope I can balance out sharing control with everybody as the board and as the number of tiles where you could place workers grew, you knew that people would spread out. It was interesting. I found in one of our games where we were sitting there, not a lot of us were investing in increasing the number of workers we could put out. That's usually in all worker placement games, you are always looking on how to increase your population. One of our games, Mark was sitting down there. He didn't do that. And he was just concentrating, throwing everything into one area, right? It was an interesting how we traded off on the various games, and a lot of it has to do what cards were you getting.
Before we get to the conclusion, we do want to mention the advanced thing that you're talking about. So there's an advanced phase of the game where it includes more building tiles, which are a little more complicated, and also an additional action tiles, which you mentioned too. Also, you get what's called a company card, which basically sets you off. It's like an initial investment in something. You may get some additional resources, etc. And also at the end of the game, there is a goal card. Mm-hmm. Hey, you're going to get money if you achieve this, and it's public. Everybody gets to use it. In the advanced game, also everybody gets a private objective to shoot for also. I think we found we like the base game better because everybody starts off on equal footing, and then it's just like, all right, who can play it best?
Well, see, I'm mixed. I always like the ability to have my special power, that kind of helps guide me on what I want to do. But if that special power is contradictory to the cards I'm drawing, then it's kind of like, well, this sucks. Like the one game where we did this, mine was, hey, anytime you use a yellow to build a building, you have to have it. You then generate a yellow. And I was like, okay, well, that pretty well sets up the strategy. So that's what I was doing. I was looking at it from the standpoint of, hey, I need to build a lot of the yellow buildings, or yellow needed to build the building.
Nice thing is you could, as you play, you can mix and match. You could say like, okay, everybody gets a company card, but we're not going to use the advanced buildings, etc. So you can kind of mix and match the game to your play group. All right, so we've been talking about this long enough. Conclusion. Lots of things I love about this game. The speed of the game is incredible. I do like the fact that everybody gets to play simultaneously. One downside to that is you don't know what other people are doing. At the end of the game, it's like, holy crap, how did you get all that money? And then you see the stuff that they built. And we've talked about that before. Simultaneous games means a lot of times you miss what other people are doing. I don't know that I could have affected. Let's say you had an amazing engine. I don't know if I'd have noticed that, if there's some way I could have stopped you from using it. But I do like the simultaneous action. That means a 4-player game is only going to take you 60 minutes. The setup is super quick. It's really not that hard to understand because the actions are super simple. I think the big drawback for me was just the luck of the card draw.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Speed of the game, great. Teach of the game, nothing to it. Iconography was very good, straightforward, easy, nice little player aid. I don't know what it is about, hiding your selections there at the beginning. I don't need this overblown, really cool looking thing, but I kept knocking it down. And what did you do? Didn't you do something and flip your dice somehow or something?
I mean, you need to hide your selections.
Yeah, but I can put my hand in front of it. But what I'm saying is...
Oh, yeah, they give you a screen. Basically, it's one of those, it's a screen, but also is also the player aid. So it's a dual function component right there. Yeah, you just hide because you don't want people to see where you're placing your dice, which makes sense.
I mean, that's silly stuff for me. I know that. And the other thing that I kept doing, this is an age thing, is I kept putting... Did I put my cube there? Wait a minute, I see it there on the card. Did I put it there? Or did I have one there last time? Dang it. I mean, little things like that. It does not take away from the game. It's just things you've got to remember and go through your process on how you can manage your turn. Like, okay, I'm going to go across the top row, then the next row, then the next row. Make sure I do all my cubes right there. I do like one thing that happened where I put out the cubes last one time and it completely changed how everybody felt. I thought that's a fun little thing that we added. Well, we did that one time. That was funny.
So everybody usually puts their cubes down at one time, and we did, and I thought, sweet, I'm going to have control there, and there. And then Tony waits till everybody's done, then he puts his cubes down, and I lose control everywhere because of where you picked. So I'd already planned my entire round based on that.
The arms are flying everywhere, so I just said, well, I'm not going to throw my arms in there. Let's let everybody finish up. So that's something fun you can do. But it was it's an enjoyable game.
Final thing is the designer also did the art, and the art is really, really good. The art definitely has an anime aesthetic to it, that kind of feel, a fantasy feel, which looks amazing. So I think a guy that can not only design a well-played game, but also do the art too is just really cool. Compania, we must have liked it because we played it week after week after week. And I do like Euros that play in this speed. This is from level 99, and it is out now.
Miniaturemarket.com. We're broken records. Sign up for the newsletter. Get notified of all the big sales. Be sure to go check out when they open up the back rooms. Matter of fact, for this weekend of the recording, they're doing a thing that they've done before called the case sale, where they are selling cases of games. What would be so great about this? Say you run a local con, or you have a library of games, or maybe even a classroom. Right now, you can pick up cases of games at unbelievable prices. Matter of fact, I'm looking at Windmill. It's a very simple game, Cozy Stories. A case of 12 games, normally $180, $20. You need to do a little Christmas shopping. Maybe you got a bunch of Secret Santas that you want to do. Perfect opportunity to go out there. Or maybe there's a bunch of, expansions that you need. Be sure to head over to Miniature Market for those deals. Or, as Marty and I are constantly doing, is how are we going to store all our SWU cards? We need to store our SWU cards. What do they have in place? What are they adding? What type of organizers do they have? Let's see what some of the new stuff is. Amazing over at miniaturemarket.com. Check it out.
Five-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
All right, y'all like Flip 7?
Yes.
What about Flip 7 with a vengeance? Let's make it more mean, and I am all in.
Flip 7, you know how to play it. It was the highlight game of last year. Surprised us at Gen Con. I mean, what more can you say with I'm sorry, I got all tongue-tied there. With a vengeance, what does that mean to you? It means you're going to be taking it out on some people, and it does, and it was well worth it. You got to be mean, people.
So what type of cards we're talking about here? We're talking about cards where you can swap cards between players. That could be yourself or somebody else. So yes, depending on the cards of the table, you can swap 2 cards between players and bust them both and knock them right out of the game.
Take one more. Well, what does that mean? That person's going to get one more card and they're froze. They're done, but they're still active. So you can then later play a swap on them, or someone can play a swap on them and bust them out there. Woo! And then they got some other special cards out there. One of them is the 0 card. Guess what's going to happen there? Your score is 0 unless you can hit 7. So you're all in on that one. I like that card. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. And by the way, people are saying, wait a minute, what if I've never played Flip 7? I guess we should explain real quick. So Flip 7 is you're going to, beginning of the game, you get dealt a card. And I come to the next player and go, do you want to stay or hit me? And he goes, hit me. And there's the cards range from this one 0 to 13. There are 13 13s, 12 12s, 11 11s, etc. You can keep saying hit each round unless you get 2 matching numbers, then you're busted, you're out of the game. Or at any time, you can just say stay. And then at the end of the round, you're going to add up the value of points as the number on the cards. And this one, Tony, there's negative value cards that you can give to people that you could subtract the value that's on there. And also there's this other condition. If you can get 7 number cards on the table, that's an automatic win. You get some bonus points there. So that's kind of the basic game.
Fast play. Talk about fast play. Plays to 200 or whatever number you want to play to. I always couch it by saying when I'm playing with people is I'm like, hey, we played to 200, but we can stop at any time. This is just a fun game to, fill up some time. I've yet to not play to 200. I've yet to have games where it's been very competitive. I thought for some odd reason in the games of Flip 7 I've played, the normal one, it felt like somebody kept running away with it. This one, everybody kept staying, right on top, except for one person, me, because it seems like I always got the divide by 2 card, which took your score divided by 2, rounded down. Jeez, come on, y'all.
Yeah, there's some crazy cards in there. Like there's an unlucky 7. You get it. You have to discard all your other cards.
Mm-hmm.
It's little things like that. There's one, it's the, is it the Lucky 13? Lucky 13 means if you get another 13, you're cool. You can have 2 matching 13s.
Yeah, but you really like that card because I'm with you. The one that lets you, in the regular Flip 7 where it protected you from busting, they got rid of that here. And I just spaced what that one was called. Second chance.
Second chance. I hate that card because it drags the game on. Right. And somebody gets a second chance in front of them, they just keep hitting for free, basically.
So great improvement. Flip 7 with a vengeance. If you like Flip 7, go ahead and add this. Go ahead and get ready to add all the IPs that are coming out. I've got the Grinch. Marty has the Grinch. Flip 7. We're just going to keep going on the Flip 7 train.
Yeah, I agree. I think I will pull with a vengeance out before the basic Flip 7 now because I just like to take that action of the cards. Once again, that is Flip 7 from OP Games from designers Eric Olson and Alyssa Swatek.
5-minute initiative is complete.
Instagram teen accounts have automatic protections for what teens see and who can contact them, plus time management tools. And Instagram will continue adding built-in safety features to help create age-appropriate experiences. Learn more about teen accounts and Instagram's ongoing work to protect teens online at instagram.com/teenaccounts.
All right, yeah, we heard it on our last episode. I know. Guys, that wasn't 5 minutes. That was like 8 or 9. Okay, maybe we need to change it, Tony, to 5-ish minute initiatives.
But yeah, okay, fine. 5-ish. You're going to have to get the whole new thing starting in 3. 5-minute initiative-ish. Think you can edit that in?
Yeah. And I don't even remember how I created that. I went online and how that created. So
I think you did a Fiverr. You paid somebody to do a Fiverr or something right now.
Hey, now with AI, I can just hey, could you just say this for me and give me an audio file?
See, there it is. Don't even have to pay $5 to somebody. Man, I didn't realize we went over last time. I'm the one editing it. I mean, not editing it, but putting the timestamps on it. By the way, I really do appreciate our new network sponsors that are going on here. Their commercials seem to be more set in time. So I may be able, at least to me, when you add them and I go back to listen, my timestamps aren't off. I'm able to just add a little bit more time to when the audio file you're producing. So I really appreciate that with our new network sponsors. And y'all, if you hear anything on the sponsorships from the ads that are playing that you're like, hey guys, not digging that one, let us know. We can help. We can work with our network and figure out which ones to add or remove.
Especially remove. If you hear something that says, guys, this just doesn't fit with y'all or what I expect from y'all, let us know. They're really great to work with and remove. Speaking of people that we worked with, Tony, recently Ewin Racing reached out to us and said, hey, guys, we haven't done anything with you in a while. You're still enjoying your chairs. And Tony, I'm sitting in one right now. You're sitting in one, and I have one at work. So I would say we're still enjoying our chairs.
Yeah, I've sold a couple of those chairs, especially if you go out to ewinracing.com, use the code RDTN. Now, right now, at the time of recording the show, they have the special tax break, 15%. Oh, my God, I've got to get my taxes done. But anyway, you can get 15% off. But if you use the RDTN code, that's 30%. Oh, man, we're printing money here for you. But they not only have chairs, but they also have desk. They have these desks that go up and down. We want to call them, sit, stand desk, whatever you want. Those desks, I mean, I know Marty has one. I've got one, and I love my sit stand.
Mine's not a sit stand.
Yours is not a sit stand?
No. Mine is the smaller one that they had. It's a little bit narrow. It looks exactly the same, but it's not as wide. And we're bringing this up because, Tony, I believe you're going to be getting one of those standing desks. And I think it's 61 inches wide. Now, I really want to see what it looks like, because if you like it, I may get one in the future. Because I thought, I got enough desk space, but I have stuff I want to put on the desk, and I don't know that I do. So I'm very curious when you get it, and you could talk us through how easy it was to put together and everything like that. So, I mean, usually the chairs are very easy to put together. I've done so many, I can knock one out in about 15 minutes now once I get all the parts out of the box.
Yeah, I was looking over the instructions on how to do the desk because I wanted to see what it's like. Donna started laughing. I had it pulled up on the computer, and she goes, "Oh, you're going to have a fun afternoon with that." I'm like, "Oh, it's not IKEA. It's not IKEA. I can tell you
it's not IKEA." So anyway, I'll be very curious how it works. Anyway, Ewin Racing, you can get 30% off their products right now, and we'll be telling you more about that desk in the future.
Okay, last thing on the thing, we always talk our video games, but I took the plunge. I volunteered to become an officer in a Guild Wars 2 guild. What was I thinking? I don't know. But my first recruit was Marty. I can't wait to show him around the guild, show him where all the extensive nodes are. Man, let me tell you, they know how to keep me in that game. All the little things that go on, Marty. But how are you liking your stick shooter game?
Still very much enjoying it. I'm trying to find the third dungeon right now. However, I'm starting on something different. So Resident Evil Requiem came out. So I've missed a lot of the recent Resident Evil games. The Resident Evil Requiem game brings back a very popular character, Leon, who was in Resident Evil 4, which I played way back on the GameCube. So there's been remakes of all these. So I'm starting my journey this year. I just bought Resident Evil 2 Remake, which I got on the PlayStation for only $20. It's dirt cheap. So I'm going to play it. Then later on play Resident Evil 4, which also has Leon. Both of these have Leon in it. And then during October, month of Halloween, I'm going to play Resident Evil Requiem. So it's the year of Leon.
Isn't there a song about Leon Leon lost the shuffle. So I can't remember that. For some reason,
Lido?
Is it Lido? Okay. No wonder it's not coming up.
Boss
Skaggs. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So going back to how did you get offered to become an officer?
They were doing recruiting, and the 20 minutes that I'm on in the evening, they just had a note up, and she said the leader of this been doing successful guilds since Guild Wars 1. Mm-hmm. They were one of the top ranked guilds during Guild Wars 1. I said, listen, I'm here to help. Just understand that, my time's limited. And they're like, hey, yeah, sure. Come on, bring it in. We can quickly kick you. But the only thing that's required is you got to do 50% rec or 100% as an officer. Anybody you invite, make sure they understand you got to do 50% rec, which means you need to just have the AW banner, Avalon's Wraith, I believe, next to you. But the crowd's real helpful. There are there's one guild out there that has over 1,000 members. That's huge. Some of the big YouTube streamers. I'm not in any of those, but that to me, there's a lot of drama in that. I just want groups that I can say, hey, I'm having trouble killing this boss. Can anybody jump over here? And they said, sure can, man. Here I come. Boom. And then they drop in. They have one of their big elementalists come flying in that does mega damage. And you're like, okay, here you go. I'm like, dang. That's how you play this game.
Nice. So, yeah, I got on last night. I accepted it, and I went ahead and switched my tag. So I'm in there right now.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I got to go recruit some more people and get PM'd and they trolled a little bit, but I can handle that. I didn't know this. Free-to-play players, they have certain restrictions about how they can PM or talk to people. I did not realize that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, there's various things on that. So anyway.
We've been paying since day one. So.
Oh, man, they got me good with the recent sale, too. Oh, I hate them.
What was it?
They reduced the requirements to buy additional inventory slots and expand your bank storage. I was like, yeah, I don't spend money. Here's $20, y'all. Here's $20.
That's what I spend on. It's always additional inventory slots and bank. That's the only things I spend money on. I think the other thing I spent money on was the mining tool, share slot mining tools or whatever that are unbreakable.
Yeah, those are good. Yeah, we play old games. What can I say? I did update my PlayStation.
Good thing you did. I don't know if you noticed, there is now going to be another $100 increase as of April 2nd. So this console started at $500. It's now going to be $650.
Really?
Remember in times when you bought consoles and they got cheaper over time? Yeah, that time's gone.
It's because of the rare metals they're putting into them. They need to learn how to do it. Oh, last thing, and then we're out of here. We'll be rolling dice, taking names later. I discovered that my ability to fix a paper shredder is not that great. I took apart a paper shredder, and when you take something apart and you pop all the screws off, and then you hear stuff fall inside of it, you're like, ooh, I probably shouldn't have done that. I did that the other night. Our paper shredder wasn't working. I undid the screws, I lifted the lid, and all of a sudden I hear this clank, 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 and I'm like, uh-oh. And then it's like, I'll never get this back together. Where's it? Amazon, be here today, new paper shredder.
Yeah. It's just too convenient.
All right. Well, with that, keep rolling dice.
And taking names. Hey, y'all. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, you can head over to our website, rolldicetakenames.com. That's where we have links for everything. Our YouTube channel, where all of our episodes are posted. Plus, if you want to support the show, you can do so over at buymeamoonpie.com. Be a one-time contribution or a regular going contribution, and of course all of our social media feeds are there, and please join our Discord channel. We always love to see people there.
When Chuck Norris met the Grim Reaper begged for more time.